Coming up on the show on 700 WLW, why a program that doesn't cost us a dime and provides startup money to small businesses. Because small business, like I want to get in business, I don't have startup capital. You go to the Small Business Association, go to small business owners. Generally, they pool their money together and then offer low-interest loans. You pay it back, and then that money goes to help another small business. And, of course, that's the engine that drives America, small business. Sounds like a good program, right? Doesn't cost me and you taxpayer money. It's funded by the businesses. So if that's the case, why is Beth Solomon in town with lawmakers to try and convince them to continue allowing this to happen? The federal government wants this program stopped. Wait a minute, what? Small business owners collect their money, pool it together to offer low-interest loans to people who want to become small business owners, which is good for the economy, jobs, growth, all that stuff. And yet the federal government doesn't want it to exist. What's the catch? Beth Solomon will explain next on the Scott Sloan Show right after news on 700 WLW. Scott Sloan Show, 700 WLW. So I know this is going to come as a shock to you. So let's say, hypothetically, we have a program where you have, small businesses, let's say, that wind up taking loans. And then the loans and that fund repaid by the interest and the payback that the small business when they pay their loan back. Okay? Then that money goes on to provide more loans for other small businesses who pay it back, and the interest and all that then goes to fund other small businesses, right? Doesn't cost anything from the taxpayers. Nothing comes out of the federal budget. We don't pay a dime out of our own pockets. We probably should cut that program. Joining me on 700 WLW is Beth Solomon with the National Association of Development Companies. And I said that's a hypothetical, Beth, but it's actually a reality, right?
Unfortunately, it is a reality. It's a no-brainer, good program that, as you say, is a revolving loan fund, similar to allowing the home mortgage refinance. This is for businesses. Mm-hmm. Homeowners know how important it was to reduce their debt. That's what this does for small businesses. And with unemployment at 7.5%, we need things like this to get them creating jobs again.
Now, you represent businesses that hand out the money. And this isn't federal money. It's not taxpayer dollars. It's businesses that collect this and then redistribute it, charge a little bit of interest. It's all paid back into a pool to help other businesses.
Exactly. It's like a revolving loan fund, and these are nonprofit organizations that do this and collect the money and then lend it out again.
And as far as the types of businesses that qualify, what do we say?
Well, it's really small businesses. About 2,700 businesses took advantage of this program during a trial period, and they freed up nearly $7 billion in capital. What they did was they sustained jobs through the downturn. But now what's happening is they can't meet the market. Small businesses create jobs, but they need capital to be able to do that. And those who made it through the recession, they are starved for that kind of money. So we're trying to get this program going again. It's called the CREED Act. And we're having an event in Cincinnati with businesses who benefited from it, manufacturers, retail, restaurants, you name it. All kinds of businesses benefited.
As far as the default rate on these loans go, what's the ratio?
It's very small. It's comparable to what you see in commercial finance. With this program, they have to be current on all their payments for the last 12 months. So out of 2,700 businesses that took advantage of this, we've only seen one default, and that's being fixed. In other words, it can be restructured. So these are very high-quality businesses, but we need to encourage them now to create the jobs we need.
So a very small default rate, and when it does it jeopardize the other operations, or because the default rate is so small, it's the cost of handing these loans out?
Exactly. Fees are incorporated in the loan on the front end to handle these kinds of things. So as you said, no cost to the federal government, no cost to the taxpayers, just a revolving loan fund getting capital where it's needed in the economy. A recent study by Pepperdine University found that 30% of business owners with revenue under $1 million said increased access to capital is the policy most likely to help them create jobs. This is a no-brainer on both sides of the aisle.
Seems to, again, lift all ships here. And, you look at the model here in Cincinnati, Beth, and cities notorious for handing money out for to individuals and businesses that may not qualify in another realm, and sometimes those loans are defaulted on, like what happened with a theater renovation a few years ago, or a professor couple from the University of Cincinnati buying up properties in the urban landscape and then essentially not knowing what to do with them, defaulting to the taxpayers, lose all this money. We have a program here that's funded by small business, regulated by small business. The screening's done by businesses, and it doesn't cost the federal government a dime. However, the mandate for this, the program itself that's established by the government, is not going to be renewed because it's successful. It makes no sense to me.
Well, exactly. That's the kind of, unfortunately, what we see in Washington. I mean, we're focused on gun control, focused on immigration. Not that those things don't have their place, but we need to get small businesses creating jobs again. This program helped businesses in Cincinnati like the Montessori School, manufacturing companies, day schools, all kinds of small businesses. Why wouldn't you continue this program?
Well, because there's no votes in it. See, Beth, if we're self-sufficient, if businesses are self-sufficient, if they can help their own, and you don't need federal intervention except for this the name of this program and the title that allows you to carry this out, then you've now marginalized these people's ability to get reelected or elected.
Well, and I think small business, frankly, has been left out of the conversation a bit. It's when, in fact, the focus should be on jobs, creating jobs. We know that 7 out of 10 of net new jobs in America are created by small businesses, but it's just not getting the focus from Congress and the president that it should.
Well, you can be too big to fail, but in your case, you're too small to succeed.
Exactly, and this is the backbone of America.
And that's the thing. Small business is the engine that drives our economy in America. And programs like this are very important. But again, it doesn't involve them to a degree. So why continue something if you don't have a need for the politicians? To me, this is kind of like Habitat for Humanity. If you're still not grasping how it works, is that Habitat for Humanity, they take old houses, or they build new houses for people with low incomes, and then those people put sweat equity in. They paint, they nail, they learn how to build a house. Then the idea is they'll care for the house a little bit better, knowing how it's built and how to actually work a paintbrush or a hammer. And then the loans, which are provided at very low interest, those loans are paid back by the families that get the Habitat homes. And then that money goes back into a pool to help others do the same thing they did. And this is exactly like that model, only when it comes to businesses. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why Washington would decide we don't need this program.
Well, I think it's part of what's wrong with Washington. You're absolutely right. This is a self-funded, smart, bipartisan mechanism. It's a mechanism. It's one thing that the federal government can do well. So, of course, as you're saying, it's stuck. It's stuck in the gridlock that we're all sitting in. And that's why our economy isn't improving.
Where's the event, Beth?
The event is Hamilton County Development Company on Mentor Avenue at 2 o'clock, and we're going to have representatives. We're going to talk to those members of Congress. We've got representatives of Senator McConnell's office and Senator Brown's office coming, and Congressman Shabbat, Wenstrup, and Massey. So all across the region, they will be there, and we're going to take this message to them with business leaders saying, hey, wake up, Congress. This is the kind of thing we need. It's a no-brainer. We need your help. They need to focus on this kind of stuff. 2 o'clock at Hamilton County Development Company, great institution in the community.
Gotcha. Well, that's a great thing too. And if someone is interested, and I'm presuming this works because now you're getting the interest of senators, how can people who are interested in getting loans get in touch with you?
They should come to the event. They should call Hamilton County Development Company right there in Cincinnati, and go to our website at www.nadco.org.
All right, Hamilton County Development Company, the HCDC in Cincinnati. Hey, thanks again, Beth Solomon. Good luck with the event.
Thank you so much.
All right, there you go. Something that's success. You can't have success unless, of course, politicians have their hand in it. Then success doesn't matter. Sickening, isn't it? Scott Sloan Show, 700 WLW.